All right. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good folks out there. Thank you for tuning in to the Travel Misfits show. We apologize for the delay today. We should have known Mr. Marvin Moore is always on the move, so we caught him in destination going to the airport. That's just what we do, right? So as always, you got me, your host, Reese the Shenanicator, alongside me, co-hosting is Mr. Reggie Johnson. Are you there?
Hey. I was frozen for a second. Nah. What's up, people? What's up? Reggie, the West Coast Wild Child. You know how it go down. Thank you again, Marvin, for being able to, take a few moments to chit chat with us. You know what I mean? Bring the people some good information. As they can see and hear from time to time when you mute your mic that you are on the move, as we always say. You know what I mean? My man, in and out. You know what I mean? So, this is a blessing that we was able to get you in transit. And it also, leads right into why we definitely wanted to bring you on the show. You know what I mean? Because travel can be done, and you showing us right now that it can.
Hey man, thank y'all for the opportunity to be here. I'm glad I made it, man. Running through the airport, I'm a little sweaty right now.
You had us sweating. You had us sweating. So, so it's an honor to have you on here because I know we come up with all different kinds of names. I call you Magnificent Marv for my own personal reasons, of course, because you are magnificent. Um, with the West Coast Wild Child came up with the DC Renaissance man. He hit us deep with that one,
Hey
right?
man, my man do it all, man. Like the only thing I ain't seen him or had nobody tell me he do is deliver kids.
That's coming soon, and it's gonna be in
I'm
another
working. It's in
country,
the
right?
works. It's in the works.
But no, look, we really wanted to. So today's segment is titled "Free Your Mind," and I
Mm.
couldn't think of a perfect person to do this segment because just the background of you, and we're not going to give the whole autobiography. Of course, we're going to go ahead and let you speak on it, but you're here, you're born and raised Washington D.C. native, D.C. educator, football coach, fitness coach, you name it. But then again, on top of that, you're a travel business owner, and then you're not just booking travel. You out here doing the daggone thing. How many countries you been in this year so far?
Uh, if I had to, what's this? September. I'd probably say somewhere between maybe seven, six, 7 countries.
See,
I
that's
We're
what
think
I'm
not
if I'm
talking
talking,
about.
and
counting.
we're not talking about the Miami versions of other countries. Like everybody's going to Cancun, everybody's going to Punta Cana, everybody's going to Jamaica. You out here, you going to Dubai like it's in your backyard. You done came back. Didn't you just come back from Lisbon, if I'm not mistaken?
Amsterdam.
Eh,
Lisbon was in February.
See what I'm saying? I can't keep up. I can't keep up. So my thing to you is especially for those who of us that are born and raised in DC, and we kind of feel like we're stuck in these brick walls and we can't really jump out there. And we're gonna have our other brother step in for Durham. Now I'm about to add him. Hey Donnell, how you doing, big
What's
bro?
up?
You gonna
What's
have you
up?
step in and
Oh,
Durham. So
What's up?
with you being a DC native and you hear a lot of us feeling like, especially the young men feeling like, your only options of looking like success is either sports or being a rapper, right? And if you can't do either of those paths, then you're kind of like at a stonewall type brick, you know what I mean? So you broke those barriers and you're what I would really consider a trailblazer because you just owned it. You made it your own. You stepped out of those boundaries. You stepped out of those four walls that most of us think that we're stuck in, and you really did the daggone thing. So one of my biggest questions to you is, what's your drive? What's your motivation?
mm, I think that's a great question, man. And I think it changes from time to time. But honestly, I think my biggest motivation is really just fear of failure. Um, I, I, I think for people who know me personally, right? I mean, most people don't know my backstory, right? Or or know how I grow up, I mean, how I grew up, or know how I was raised, or what I went through. But I think that at a very early age, I witnessed a lot of adults experience failure, and I think that everything that I did as a part of my own journey was predicated around not failing or doing everything that I could to ensure that I wouldn't become like the people that I saw. So I would say that my driving force and motivation, day in and day out, is just uh, the the want for success, the want for something different, the need to be better, uh, and the need to evolve.
Well, that's a great answer, man. Um, being a and because I'm gonna talk from personal experience, so I'm gonna ask my questions based on personal experience. Um, thanks to people like the gentleman that's also sitting on this panel, Mr. Darnell. You know, I had the luxury, and I still have the luxury of being able to coach young black men from the DC area on the football field. But that also gives me opportunity to impart, some of the things that I've learned along the way into their lives. You know what I mean? Because people don't understand just being a football coach is not just being a football coach. It's a lot more than the X's and O's that we teach. You know what I mean? Like we're helping these young men actually become young men, because at the end of the day, we become, dad, doctor, therapist, um, mentor, provider, all of these different things. You having the unique ability to travel and see the world. How how much more do you feel like you can give to these young men outside of those things? Like, does it make you, how does that make you feel knowing that you can give them that, you know what I mean, and give them and help them understand, like we talked about, from week to week, that the world is bigger than the 10 blocks that we live around. You know what I mean? Like, you have a unique ability to be able to teach that. And I want to know, how does that make you feel, basically, to be able to do that?
Oh, y'all on fire with the questions tonight, boy. I wasn't expecting it, man. Another great question. I would say, honestly and truthfully, I'm empowered. It's an empowering feeling to be able to travel the world and bring that knowledge back home. I think that all too often, a lot of coaches in our area are themselves stuck in our area. So they teach from a perspective that's only predicated on our area. I think that most coaches do as best a job as possible in terms of grooming these young boys or these kids, because I coach girls too, but grooming these kids from where they are to to the next level. And I think for me, my push is beyond what they can see, right? Beyond what they know, beyond what they've been able to touch, because I've had the opportunity to experience the world outside of DC, outside of the neighborhoods that they're involved in, while simultaneously having the experience of growing up in some of those neighborhoods, of experiencing some of those strifes and struggles, right? So I myself feel empowered to have uh, this worldly knowledge to be able to transcend into a younger generation. And my conversation from coaching is completely different now. Like when I started, it was more about let's win the game. But after having the experience of travel, it becomes more about let's win life,
Yeah.
right? And let's move from what's next after sports. Like I'm able to have a conversation to better prepare them, not just because I travel, but also because I own a business, right? So I can have the conversation with them from twofold, right? As well as being a college graduate, so I can have the conversation like, here's where I came from, right? Here's what I did. Like I grew up in the hood, right, in the thick of it, in some really tumultuous times, and I was able to go to college, right? I had that experience. I was able to graduate. I was, I'm an educator. I own a business, right? A multitude of businesses. So I'm able to have that conversation, and um, I'm able to provide a different level of resource and connection to the greater world, to the kids that I coach.
Yeah, that's some really good stuff, man. And I want to thank you for being able to do that, because me, I do it, Derek does it, you know, Mr. Donnell over there, he does it. To have another, black man from the DC area being able to teach on that level, it just it's a humbling experience to see other people doing it. Is all I'm saying.
It is. It is. Um, Now I've seen you and I've personally experienced you coaching, that lesson of let's win in life from different aspects. For you guys out there who don't know, if y'all remember last year when I was recording myself live on Facebook doing burpees, doing the boot camp. This was by
Woo.
fitness coach Mr. Marvin Moore. Woo! That was woo! We're not
Yeah,
even gonna get
yeah,
into those burpees, right?
He's
But
stealing my stuff.
but I say that to say, and it was a lot of us in there, different ages, different, men and women that were doing this, and even some folks that had some physical ailments or whatnot, and it was just your way in coaching and delivering to us that kind of still gave us that energy and that mindset shift to say, because if you show me a video and you tell me do this exercise and I look at it and I know that I'm gonna pass out, I'm just gonna say, you know what, I'm not even gonna try it. But you had a way in shifting our mindset when we did those, to motivate us in a way to say, I can do this. I'm going to do this, and I'm gonna do this to my best capability, and I'm gonna be the best out of it. And speaking of which, since then, y'all, I'm down 30 pounds. I kept it down since last year. I kept 30 down, but you missed more. But I want to say, listening to, you saying things of the nature of, look, I look like you guys, I've been where you guys are, I come from where you are. It could be done. I'm doing it. Like, what can you say is the most impactful and effective method of the way that you do these things, and deliver these messages to really shift mindsets, especially when it's dealing with, because you're doing it for different audiences. You're doing it whether it's fitness with women and men. You're doing it with the men. I mean, the younger men with when it's football coaching. You're doing this with women or young ladies as well. So, like, what do you feel is most impactful or effective out of your delivery to really shift minds, to really have people step out of that fear and want to win in life, whatever it is in general?
Uh, First and foremost, man, shout out to you. Okay, still down 30 pounds. Yeah, you better know them burpees coming back around, man.
I ain't ready
So
yet, but I'm
prepare
doing.
yourself, man. Um, no, but I would say two things though. I would say that I think what generally works for me, or um, what goes over well for me in terms of just being able to motivate people in that regard is one, my ability to connect with people and understand perspectives. I think when I started out with my journey of life, like as I grew into becoming a man, um, a lot of what I did was based on what I knew and how I felt. I think that when I got more into my journey and started to take on different ventures and going through different walks of life, I started to understand more about how people thought and what they felt. And I think what helps the most is that I'm always willing to jump in the fire with the people who I'm looking to motivate, right? Like if for any reason there is something that you feel like you are unable to do, um, I'm able to like just tap into the psyche and let's walk through the process, right? I think that I have a pretty solid ability to break it down. And so most people's problem is they look at how long the journey is before just taking the first step. And so my goal is always to push people to take the first step. And then sometimes breaking that first step into a crawl, right? Or maybe we slide first, right? We do a little belly crawl, then we crawl on our knees, and then we're up to take our first step. And walking people through that process slowly enough, right? Or meaningful enough. And I just care, right, genuinely and truly about people who I know or have a connection with. Like, if I know you, if you have some type of impact on my life, or even if I just care about you, man, I'm just that type of person, right? I want everybody to win, and I know in my mind what I would do to win. So I usually just take that same mentality and I work to help people acquire like whatever we got to do to get there. We're gonna get there. Let's start, super slow. Let's even slow down the slow process. Start somewhere and start working towards something. And I think that people start to feel comfortable in connection, and once they start to understand my methodology a little bit, are typically more inclined to, acquiesce to what it is that I'm, trying to get them to do or motivate somebody into.
Good stuff.
I
So,
was
Mr.
see,
Donnell, I'm gonna give you a chance before I jump in there.
I was about to pick him out too, Mr. Samurai. I know you work closely with Mr. Marvin for longer than I have, so I know he's made an impact in your life as well. You have some things you want to pick his brain about to share with the world.
Well, I don't have anything to pick his brain with, but I am going to share with the world just, just the remarkable human being that you guys are witnessing right here. And Marvin and I go way back. you know, we go way back. Actually, I coach Marvin, so um, and we coach together. Coach my son a couple of teams, and just life in general. But I watch Marv, metamorphosize over the years. Every step he took, it was it. He everybody has steps that you go up, but all of Marvin's steps was like up and down. They were going up. That's what his success was. He was going through life, but he was still going up. He was still going up, and the effect that Marvin. I'm just gonna share a story that's always gonna be dear to my heart, and he know it. This is my dude, 100. So I was going through a real bad season, and Marv said, "Hey man." He was like, man, you always wearing that such and such shoes. I was like, man, I ain't got no money right now. He was like, for real? I was like, yeah. He was like, all right, man. So Marv called me out the blue. He was like, hey, coach, you still live such and such place? I was like, yeah. He was like, all right, come outside. Come outside. He was like, here, man, that bothered me, man. It bothered me that you said that you didn't have a pair of shoes, another pair of shoes, because you was putting in the work doing everything else with your kids and all of that. He said it bothered me, man. So I just wanted to share this with you. So Marv went out and bought me a pair of shoes. You know what I'm saying? Just a simple gesture of I love you. He was just like, yo, a simple pair of shoes. I still have those shoes to this day. I would never throw them away. I wear them still. You know what I'm saying? But that's just what he just shared with you all. And me and Marv, we had there's a significant age difference between me and Marv, but Marv doesn't see he don't see color, he don't see gender, he don't see age. That's his heart. That's who he is, and that's why he's attained the success that he has, in life, in business. That's just who he is. He has a quiet drive that if you didn't know him, you would just be like, oh, oh, wait a minute, what the hell? He's highly competitive, highly competitive. Another story, when I have a minor league professional men's team, my first player that I had on that team was Marvin. He was the first player for the DMV Raiders. First team back in 2012, 13. First player that we ever had was Marvin Moore. Marvin Moore. You know what I'm saying? So when I say that this guy, he has transcended, just being a local thing. You know what I'm saying? And when he started traveling, oh, you could see it. He was just like, whew. I would always mess with him before he would even before he was even doing the business. Marvin was gone. you know, Marvin would be like, "Hey, look, coach, I'm gonna be gone for these next couple of weeks. I'm just letting you know, heads up." I was like, "Oh man, I already know. It's that time of year for you. I ain't gonna see you for probably like a month." So, but what he does, and I don't know, y'all got to see the kids, from little kids all the way up to grown men that look at Marvin. They always ask him, "Where you going now, coach? Where you going now? Man, what is it like?" So that just him going to places, and they see him going, and they're like, "Man, if Marv doing it, if Coach doing it, I know I can do it. If I don't do nothing else, I'm gonna take a trip with Coach. I'm gonna take a trip with Marv. I can do that." To the point I know that he inspired one of our coaches, Coach Smoke. I know you inspired Smoke to travel because Smoke wasn't gonna go nowhere. But that's just the influence that he has, man. He's an awesome human being, from the gym. I remember when he started that journey. You know what I'm saying? I remember we were working out when Chaos. We was the bricks that opened up Chaos. Matter of fact, and Marv just took that and just ran with it. So what y'all see now, man, I can't wait to see, what the future holds for him. He's an awesome human being. You know what I'm saying? And I can never say enough about him. Just like right now, he's sitting at the airport ready to go.
Right. I was about to ask, where are you going? Where are you headed to now?
You know why?
He
Because
is the official Black Where's Waldo. Like, seriously. He didn't even tell us. We were like, where you at? Oh, I'm running through the airport right now. Man, we didn't know.
but that's good. And listen, and I tell the young fellas the same thing. I'm like, listen, you ain't got no wife, you ain't got no kids, go. You have absolutely nothing to lose and so much to gain. And every opportunity Marvin has to go, he going.
Mm-hmm.
When he reach 50, he'll look back and go, "Man, I traveled all over this world,
Yes.
and I got some stories to tell." You know what I'm saying? He got some stories to tell now. But how many African American men, young men, single men, legal men traveling like he doing? You don't know too many of them.
Mm-mm.
And he just traveling. He don't, and you know what's the great thing about it? He don't tell nobody. He just go. I love it.
Yes. Yes.
He just go, and then you look up and you're like, oh, "Wait a minute, I'm gonna give him his pole. I'm gonna get the pole."
Arthur. Arthur.
look, look, yeah, off the, he rubbed the head, and then you see it just like, where is this Negro at now? Wait a minute. And he just like, y'all need to get on board. But I love him, man, and I love him from just a whole personal level, man. I love him to death, and I'm proud of him. You know, we was neck and neck in the business, and then I got sick, and then he just took off. I was like, God, dog, look at my man. We were sending messages back and forth with each other for a minute, and then he took off. I was like, sheesh, all right.
Oh, good.
My man
Oh,
is doing it, but I love him, man. Reese, you know, this guy is the epitome of what a human being should be. You know what I'm
yes,
saying?
I agree.
Everything that he said, he's actually being quite humble, but that's who he is. He's a very humble dude, you know, until provoked, but
You
that's
didn't
something you
lost
don't
me
need,
again.
never ever want to say.
You
So,
didn't lost. There you go.
but
Okay.
I just I wish when I was coming up that I had a Marvin Moore to look at and go, man. You know what I'm saying? I wish I had a Marvin Moore to go, man. That guy right there. Hey, can you tell me how to do what you do just in life? I don't know about everything, but just in life. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So that's it. That's all I can say about that guy right there, man.
All right, so thank you, Donnell, man. Like a lot of people needed to hear that. A lot of people needed to know that we do have, Renaissance men from the area. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, that's pretty much what he is. You know what I mean? Marvelous Marvin, you can call him whatever you want. But, a stand up guy is what he always going to be. So, with that being said, it leads me to my question that I've been begging to ask since day one, episode one of this particular podcast. And I ain't going to let it go until I personally change it. So I'm bringing it to you. And I'm bringing it to any other man who is listening to this podcast. I'm challenging everybody, and you gonna hear the answer from this guy right here. How do you feel about women traveling more than men?
Oh,
Boy, that's a
I don't like
slippery
that
slope
last.
right there. Boy, that's a
I'm bringing the
slippery
smoke to every
slope
dude
right
who
there.
who's standing on the block, who's standing in the living room, at the fried kitchen, at the bank, at the basketball court, at the football field, at the hot dog stand, getting some McDonald's fries, getting the Wendy's burger, talking to your baby mother, hollering at your cousin, making plans to do whatever you doing. I'm talking to every guy in the world, and this is how I'm going, because we gonna change it. It don't make no sense. It makes no sense. So I'm gonna let you in. I gotta get it off. I gotta get it off.
Let Marvin speak heavily on that.
Boy, that's a slippery slope. That's a slippery slope. I'm gonna tell you though. So I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. I I am disappointed that us black men don't take advantage of the opportunity to travel. And
Somebody
I'm
else
not
up to
going
you.
to compare it to women because I love the fact that my black women travel, specifically my black women, right? I love it, which is why I'm usually traveling with women because they're probably, you know what I'm saying, they're more apt to travel. But I think it's unfortunate though, even like family and friends who I have conversations with about traveling, it's like pulling teeth.
Yes.
A good number of them don't have passports, right? Some barely have licenses to even travel domestically. Um, and I just think that it is done out of fear, right? Primarily because you don't know what to expect on the other side. You out of fear and lack of exposure, right? Like you weren't exposed to something better, right? Something more, something greater than the environment with which you operate in, right? So as a result, you are scared of what's on the other side. Whereas for me, it was I didn't get that exposure, so I need to find it, right? And I
I need to
saw
know what's over
people,
there.
huh?
I need to know what's over there.
I need to know what's over there. Like I've been privileged enough to be in rooms where those type of conversations were happening with people, and it sparked a curiosity for me. I think that I'm probably a little bit more disappointed uh, in black men in general, right? Because they don't have that level of curiosity, right? Especially black men in DC don't have that level of curiosity for the world, that level of curiosity for travel, that level of curiosity for entrepreneurship, that level of commitment to growing yourself. Like I think it's hard to evolve if or become a better person or your truest or highest self if you've only ever been in one area. Like
Right.
you don't know different versions of yourself in different spaces. You don't know how your body's going to function or react to different climate and cultures. Like if you haven't experienced anything than what you've known up to, grown up with, how do you, how are you able to really stand on what you say, and how are you able to impart knowledge on others when you only have a limited view yourself? So I would say to answer that question, truthfully and thoroughly, that I'm disappointed by the lack of participation from black men specifically uh, in the space of travel, in the space of entrepreneurship.
Can I
See,
chime in?
and
That's powerful.
Can I chime in?
You sure
go ahead.
can.
Me being prior military, I got the opportunity to travel. But I always traveled before that, just because my parents didn't want me to be home. They just was like, okay, go. So it was nothing for them to send me cross country to a relative house. You know, I think that a lot of that, like what Marvin was saying, it starts with just exposure. So great grandmama ain't never been nowhere, grandmama ain't been nowhere, mama ain't been nowhere. So the first time somebody ever goes anywhere is college. That's if they get to college. You know what I'm saying? You got people that live here that don't venture outside their neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? Or go on the other side of town. What I need to go uptown for? I got everything I need here. You know, but the thing with that is it's not just a DC thing. That's a countrywide mindset. You got some
Yeah,
people that
but that's why my question was in general. Men travel less than women. See, and I know it's not just centralized to us. I know it's not just us. In the DMV. Oh, please don't let me ever say that again. In the DC, Maryland, and Virginia area. You know what I mean? I know it's not just us. You know what I mean? That have the lack of
but it's not just
exposure.
it's not men, it's black men because white men travel, or Asian men travel, you know, all the cultures, races, they travel. It's just our culture. And a lot of it has to do with what Marvin said, lack of passports, IDs, you know. But it's also that mindset again of I got everything I need. Why would I want to go look somewhere else? You know what I'm saying? And I was just sitting there brainstorming just now, and I was like, man, that would be just awesome if, every dude that had the ability to travel would take one of their people, pay for them to go, and just take them with you just to plant that seed so they could plant the seed and continue to plant a seed. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
know, my brother frequent Punta Cana. And he would always go, look, man, I just get your passport, I'm gonna pay for you. And I was like, nah, I'm good. Because if I go to Punta Cana, I'm not coming back. So I'm good. But it's that mindset because that's what he did. He would take one of his boys, he was like, go get your passport, I got you. And I watched as one went to 4, went to 10, went to 20. So now it's a religious thing for them 20 dudes to, hey, it's that time of year, let's go. So I think women tell other women, girl, you need to come on and go with me. You know what? You go on with me. Here it is. Here get the date. Here go half the money. Go ahead and we going. That's it. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? They make their friends come and then they go and it's like, this what I've been missing? Sure. All right. I'll be back next
And it
time.
don't take a lot of convincing. It
Right.
really doesn't when it comes to us. It's just
Right.
like, look, that's something different than what I've been doing. I need to get away. That's
Right.
what we quick to say. But to that point, and to your point, and again, this hits hard on today's topic, mindset is everything. I mean, like they say, mind over matter, and it really makes or breaks us. I had put up a quote about this from Marcus Garvey when he was one of his famous quotes: "Free yourself from mental slavery." Because even if others can control your body, only you can control your mind, right? Paraphrasing, so to speak. So to that aspect, because of course, like y'all stated, black men, they have it in their mind, I have everything that I want, or they don't see value in exploring something else. Like the fact that y'all said a lot of men don't have passports, but a lot of these new J's coming out cost more than a passport. You know what I mean? And then a new pair of J's comes out within the next month and they're about to get that, but yet you get your passport for less and you got that for 10 years, right? So like I've actually seen some of your trips where you've had men on your trips, Marvin. And then with a lot of people being sensitive when it comes to the sexuality jokes and things of that sort. Reggie had touched bases on this, like black men can't even feel comfortable about eating hot dogs and things like that in public because of the whole mentality thing again, right? So how, and I'm asking all of you guys on the platform today, um, how do you think how do you think people can effectively sway that mindset to say, look, there is something else out there that you really need to see, like something that like Marvin has a way of knowing people, and then it's like, okay, I can effectively open your mind by relating to where you are and then opening it and shifting to where I'm trying to get you to see, right? How could you guys go about doing that with our men? I know, like for us women, it's hard. It's like we may have to nag our babes and things like that. Like, babe, I need to be all inclusive type things. But you, as men, reaching out to your fellow brothers, your fellow homies, as we say, and things like that. What's a good way, or what could be an effective way to kind of shift that mind from where they are and getting them to see what you see, so to speak, to want to experience something different?
Well, I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and go first so I can get this out the way. Shifting my mindset got me to shift my zip code. Anybody who know me would look at that West Coast wild child and be like, that boy from DC. The key word in that phrase is from.
Mhm.
I allow travel to open my mind to the possibility of seeing other things. So when I got a chance to travel to the West Coast, I realized at that point that I had outgrew my East Coast self. And it was time for a mind shift. It was time for a mental change. It was time to start all over again and build the West Coast Reggie just as much as I built up the East Coast Reggie. So when I made the decision that I was going to go, that was it for me. But I had enough belief in myself that I could do it and that I could make it work and that it would work as long as I worked at it. And I enjoy being the West Coast wild child because at this point in my life, by the time it's all said and done, you're gonna need a passport to come to my funeral. I'm telling you the truth because it won't be here. So, I'm trying my best to give my personal experience to people. And that's also another reason why the shift was easy for me, because the people that I was around and the people in the company that I was keeping refused to open their mind to a new possibility. So I had to open my mind to new possibilities. And I left. So now I have new opportunities, new possibilities, new people, and now I'm having new conversations and new situations to bring my knowledge to. So that's the way I'm doing it.
You want to weigh in on that one, Miles?
Yeah, I'd say I think the mindset shift for men requires some preparation. Uh, Most men, especially black men, are super stubborn and very set in their own way. And more often than not, it's hard to have a conversation to say, hey, you should do this because X, Y, and Z. Right? If you know most men or the average black man, you have a conversation with them about even something as simple as eating better. The response is usually, "Oh man, I'm not worried about that stuff. I've been doing this way for this long, and it ain't failed me yet." Right. So I think that in order to invoke like some true mindset change or a shift, you got to start preparing them, kind of like just dropping little bird seeds, man. You know, and then finding what is going to resonate with uh, each man. Because for some it might be like, bro, listen to me. It's a lot of women on this side of the, you know what I'm saying? Um, but for some men, it might be, listen, man, it's cheap. It's cheap. You know what I'm saying? On this side of the thing, right? Just so I think that the mindset shift just comes with some preparation and really uh, getting them prepared to get out of their own way, and just really kind of, I would say, providing kind of like a mirror to let them know. Like I think that for men, once they start to see that, damn, I'm in my own way, right? And when they start to understand that they're in their own way, it becomes more of a like an aha moment, like that light bulb goes off. Like I need to fix this, and I'm ready to move forward in that direction. So I would definitely just say that I think that the mindset shift comes with some preparation and patience, uh, and then just some guidance, and a little bit of tough love. Like black men need a little bit of like, come on, dog, you know what I'm saying? Like a little kick in the butt, a little bit, man.
That's good. That was good. You nodding over there, Donnell.
Oh
I
yeah,
see you.
yeah. I think all three of us have the distinct honor of being coaches. So being a coach, you have you develop the ability to reach people where they are. So nobody is the same. What works for one person may not
Don't
work
work
for
for
another
all.
person.
Mhm.
So you learn the ability to speak to men where they are. So like Marvin was kind of touching on, what Reggie was touching on, you know, you're telling the guys, but then you got to just straight up, get in their grill. Look, Slim, you can stay here and do the same thing that you've been doing and then die. Or you can take a chance, step out on faith, do something different one time, and it change your life forever.
Mm, mm, mm.
Mm.
You know,
By accident, you might like it.
men, 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 you got to hit men over the head. Like little boys, you're like, oh, don't touch that. And then you go, don't touch that. Oh, don't touch that. You know what I'm saying? So
Did
men,
you hear that, Reese? Hold on, Donnell. You might have to say that again. Reese, last week, you looked at me crazy when I said that on ladies' night.
I did.
You gotta tell us. It's not like we know. We know what we know. You getting what I'm saying? And
Right.
if we've never been exposed to it, or we've never had the opportunity to do it,
You
we
know.
don't know.
Everybody's kind of touched on it. It's perspective, it's exposure. It's like today is what? Friday. I think all of us know where 90% of people that are somewhat in our circles are at every Friday. I can go to Fridays in Greenbelt, and I'm guaranteed I'll know at least 20 people I know that's up there right now, and they're religious with it every Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So just understanding that men are habitual. They're habitual, and it's hard for a lot of men to break their habits. So for a man to unlearn something that he's been doing half or whole of his life, it has to be damn near a Jesus moment. You know, it really is. And once that Jesus moment has come, oh, his whole thought process is done. But how many come to Jesus moments do men mostly have? They stay in their lanes, they go where they go, they come back where they come back to, and that's it. So what I was kind of just touching on, just it's up to us, it's up to you ladies too, you know, to if you got a man folk in your life, just take that man somewhere regardless. Just take him somewhere. You ain't got to tell him, you ain't got to do that. We don't do surprise and all that real well, but you just take him. Okay, look, this is where we going, and I already paid for it, so that's it. And you're gonna have to do that. Sometimes it takes that. If it's no more than just, all right, we're gonna just go to Vegas. We're gonna go to Vegas, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Take them out of the element. And we ain't even talking about international yet. You know what I'm saying? Something simple is we gonna go to Texas to go get some crab cakes. You know what I'm saying? We gonna go to Boston. We gonna go to Philly to go get a cheesesteak. We gonna go to Maine to go get some lobster. Just something as simple as that. Did you like that? Yeah. Okay. Cool. You know what I'm saying? It has to, and then you got to start them young. You know what I'm saying? If you got kids, you got cousins, grab them little jokers. Take them on a trip with you. Because once you plant that seed in a kid of not being here, they're gonna always be like, when we going again? When we going again? And that's gonna transform to adults. So like with my kids, we travel everywhere. So they always like I got them this weekend. So they're always looking. So where we going? Where we going?
Create responsible travelers. Like
That's
that's
why
what
half of us cougars out here. See, I ain't got time for that. That's why I put that post. My dating profile says if you do not like to travel, don't push like, don't swipe right. I'm telling you. It's like, I guess it gives, I get what you guys are coming from, especially with the ladies. And I think what it is with a lot of us as we get older, we get a little less patient. You know what I mean? It's like we done did this run so many times. We just ready to go while we still here. You know what I mean? I'm like, these little 40-year-old knees gonna get up to the top of this daggone Duns River Falls. I ain't got time to wait 5 more years for him to get it together at 45 to see if these knees gonna work. So I guess to y'all point, it does take a lot of patience. And then I guess with us to try to get you guys, ladies, y'all hear that if y'all got the patience.
No. Listen. Real talk. If your guy is not moving, you go. He got one or two choices. He either gonna follow or you gonna leave him behind. And it ain't gonna be your fault when you run across desk that stank jock. You know what I'm saying? And then what a beautiful girl over here doing like this.
I got all the jokes. All Ricky, you done turned to a seller. Hey,
Stop.
Hey, I
Look,
That's
ain't
just
had to
real
do it.
talk
I need
though.
this man to walk me down this beach. This been my dream for 40 years. He going
But
sell
I
her
mean,
away.
it's just that real. Once a woman has a real travel bug, it's hard to turn it off because she ready to go. She looking at her calendar like this. Ooh, I got 30 days. Ooh, I got 1 week. You know what I'm saying?
Don't
So
let her be a travel business owner. My
it's
next trip wasn't supposed to be to Jamaica at the end of the month next month. Now I'm squeezing into a California trip. Don't it's I'm telling you,
it's
y'all
it's
be
just it's
careful
just
now.
relative. You know what I'm saying? You can't allow anybody to hold you back. If that person, male or female, and they want to just stay stagnant, all right, well, you just stay stagnant with yourself. And that's single folk, that's married folk, that's all of that. You know what I'm saying? It's just that real. People spend their whole life waiting until, and then they get to an age and it's like, I wish I would have. And then
Yeah.
they die. You know what I'm saying? And that's sad. Why wait for something that you could just take a minute of your normal routine. Like I just booked a guy, he leaves Sunday. He ain't never been to Jamaica. He ain't never been nowhere. He was like, D, just send me somewhere. I was like, you sure? He was like, yeah, I ain't never been nowhere and I just want to go somewhere. He leaving out on Sunday. This dude then called me every day. This a guy every day. Hey man, everything straight. We good. I was like, yo, dog, it's good. Your passport is good. Your paperwork's good. He was like, man, I'm excited. He was like, man, I couldn't even think at work today. All week. So that's what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? You just got to keep influencing people by what you do. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Even if it's no more than taking these dudes just down the across the line. You know what I'm saying? Across the line and give them a spa treatment. It's a place down there. I can't think of the place, but it's black owned. It's a spa. You know what I'm saying?
I think I know you're talking about in
Take your dude
Virginia.
down there. What's it called?
No, I was saying it's in Virginia.
Yeah, it's in Virginia.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's just those little things, like me being a coach. I coach adult men. Man, I be speaking to these dudes all the time about, hey man, I seen you on the book the other day, man. That money that you spending on that liquor, you can get unlimited liquor over there. You know what I'm saying? For
Mhm.
real? Yeah, let me show you.
Yeah.
That's it. Like Marvin said, it's like, man, that's cheap. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody need
Because
that white pussy.
they think that it's so expensive, but you go buy an iPhone and some J's and you just spent 2 G's and it's like, damn, I done had 2 vacations with that.
Yeah.
You know,
That's why I
so
said mindset.
so
Mindset.
hey, and I got a question,
And
Mr.
we was
Marvin.
getting ready to close it
Uh,
out because I don't know what time Marvin got to get on his flight.
yeah, we. That's what I said. I'm about to end it with this question to him.
I gotta go.
If I've been trying, and Donnell can tell you, I've been trying for maybe about 6, 7 years to do a DC coaches retreat, and I can't get six to say, hey, you know what? I might want to be in on this. How would you go about putting together something like that for the coaches in the district, and possibly spreading this thing out even further once we get going? Because bringing that brotherhood together and then possibly growing it into something else, you know what I mean, is a major thing that I've been thinking about. Like you said, we got a lot of coaches in the DMV that ain't never left their neighborhood for real, for real.
I think one, I think it's a super dope idea. Super, super dope. I think that's something that would be transformational for coaches in DC. I think the biggest problem with that is a lot of egos go into coaching. But I would say that if I were to try to put it together, I'd start small uh, with my own coaching staff. and I make it. I start out with just a weekend. I don't know, a weekend in Miami or a weekend in Atlanta. I would say even something more simple. I start out very simple with like a weekend in Atlantic City, right? Provide an itinerary. We all drive down, right? Super short drive. Make a flyer for it. Leave it at that. I think uh, from there, right? Every coach knows another coach. I would, in that moment, be I would overly sell this Atlantic City trip on social media, right? I'm tagging all my coaches. We, breaking bread. We whatever what we gonna coaches gonna do, right? Little snippets here and there. Boom, boom, boom. I might, and I'm gonna let the coaches, my staff, talk to other coaches that they know from other staff. Like, yeah, man, this weekend, and I'm gonna put them in a position where they're gonna have to talk to these other coaches, right? Like maybe we sitting around chilling or something, and I'm like, call your favorite coach. Let's play a game. Call your favorite coach, or call a coach that's going to know the answer to this question, just to kind of build some camaraderie, right? First thing the coach gonna pick up and say, man, where y'all at? Man, what y'all doing? What y'all having a little coaches meeting? Yeah, we're having a coaches meeting in Atlantic City. Damn. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna say, oh, okay. So now they're gonna be reaching out to you to. I might want to do something like that for my staff, right? I take that and I multiply that effort. You know what? How about we take a trip to Miami? How about we take a coaching trip to Miami? I got a little setup with these type of things. I put a little itinerary together. Got a little package. Get a couple more coaches to join, and I'd say I would have started planning it a year out. So in the coaching season, right at the start of the coaching season, I'm probably going to drop a little trip out there, and I'm gonna put something together for my coaching staff all throughout the off season. Every chance we get, man, let's put it together. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that way, from a year out, every coach that has been a part of any staff that I'm on would have talked to another coach from another staff, right, who's had a conversation with another coach from another staff. And at some point, there's going to be a connection where everybody's talking about taking some type of coaching trip. As we start to approach the end of the season, I'm going to, or throughout the season, I'm going to be giving out flyers at the handshake line.
Man, that's strategy. Man, look, that's why you in this business. I'm trying to tell y'all missing out. This is my partner. I'm
great
stealing them.
game, coaches. Listen, man, I love how you ran that offense, man. I'd love to pick your brain sometime. Me and my guys, we're taking a trip down to Miami, man. Give me a call sometime. Check your fly out. Let me know if you're interested. And if a coach, this ego for real. So if a coach think that you want to really pick his brain about an offense you don't care about, he gonna call you. Hey, coach, you said you was telling me something about going somewhere and you want to talk about my offense. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. When you think you and your coach would be for little trip, he goes, let me see these pictures, man. Me and my coaches did this. Just finding a way to plug into them, and from there, I would definitely spend a year's time putting it together. Into one season, leading into the next, little small things here and there, and I'm gonna have flyers, man, and I'm probably gonna put flyers together based on each team. Right, I coach at Roosevelt, so we played. Darren coach at Dunbar. I'm probably going to dap Darren up with a Dunbar flyer. Dunbar takes over Miami.
Hey, man, see, I ain't even a football coach and I want to be on it. I don't even go to Dunbar. Not even. That's a
So
powerful
see,
strategy right there. That's
here's my thing.
that's why this
That
business is
question was for two reasons. One, because I
girls that
really
come
want to
from
get it started.
celebration.
That's the first part. I really want to get it started. I think we should be a lot closer in the city than we are.
For sure, I agree.
I coached over there way too long, and I think we're still too separated. And two, the second part of that is I wanted people to hear the way the the professional, logical brain works. You hear what I'm saying? Like, because when you're an entrepreneur, you got to think outside the box. It's not all conventional thinking all the time. So not only are we out here to give travel information, but we're also out here to let people know that the travel business is open for you. You know what I mean? We are looking for partners every day, but understanding that, the unconventional thinking, the way you think may be the way it works. You ain't got to think like a Fortune 500 when you run your own. Sometimes it will require your own personal spin to make your idea work. So that was a twofold question. You know what I mean? But people can hear how your mind works, and how it translates to your business. Because at the end of the day, not only are you bringing people together, but you're also bringing them into your families as a travel professional. And it can be done. And, like I said, we coach in the same city, but my business don't affect yours. Yours don't affect Reese's or Darnell's. We can all have our own space and do it together. That was the point of that question. And
100%.
thank you for giving the answer you gave. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
So we're not gonna know when you're going until you check in and land, Marvin.
Oh man. Nah, my bad. I thought I answered the question. I'm just taking a quick weekend trip to Atlanta, man. Have a good little time. Catch up with
Y'all
some
hear that?
friends,
Just a
you know.
quick trip.
Nah, yeah, quick
See, when
little
you
trip.
go to places like Amsterdam and Dubai and stuff back to back, people just say Atlanta a little quick,
Hey,
quick. That's what I
Daryl
love.
had a good idea too. We could put them on the new carnival celebration. That
That's
that
what I
would work.
said. Daryl said put them on a new carnival celebration. So no, look, this right here, I knew, even though we had started off with some technical difficulties because we know Marvin moving, this I was really looking forward to this show because, well, this particular episode because mindset it really is imperative to really shift your mindset. And it ties into this. Like I don't want you guys to think we went off the topic, but the travel misfit. So we tap into a lot of things. Like it's not just about travel, but travel taps into a lot, almost everything. And just from the things that you guys covered today, it's that mindset shift to evolve. It's that mindset shift for that unite. Uniting one another. I go bag Marvin. Is that your background?
Oh, my bad.
That's why I got super loud when I start talking. But no, it's mindset shift for everything that's involved in traveling, stepping out of your atmosphere, exposing yourself to something different to really make you look at your entire life from a different perspective. What you guys spoke on about bringing the coaches together, that unity amongst us because we need that now more than ever, especially in the DC area, especially amongst our culture. Regardless, we need that unity. But travel taps into that heavily in a strong, forceful way. So I'm just really glad that we talked about this because it's like we can make so much change in a major way amongst our culture, just not even just amongst our culture, but just period. And with something as simple as travel. And then, like, we're not just out here traveling and just loving the travel itself, but we're putting ourselves in a position to where we can retire early doing this. Like, we made this our profession, and I'm so passionate about it because it's not just about, it's exposing me to so much more than me just sitting in a cubicle. You know what I mean? I don't think that I could have been able to grow the way that I have within the last year if I just stayed behind my cubicle. Um, But I just really love this platform. I love what we touch bases on with the mindset, because it starts there, and you're capable, like they say, of doing anything you put your mind to. You just got to open your mind to it to do it. So, with that being said, any closing remarks you guys got for us to wrap up the show today? Of course, because of this powerful platform, we're going to have to bring you back on for something else, Marv, somewhere else in the world. But, anything you want to share, your favorite go-to trip and why, or anything you want to just shout out to the public to close out this segment.
My favorite go-to trip?
Yeah.
At this moment, it's a toss-up, man, between Thailand and Dubai.
I knew Dubai was gonna be one. I just knew you'd been like 4 times.
It's a toss-up between Thailand and Dubai. And I'd say, man, to close out, um, if if you change your mindset, you change your circumstance. Uh, don't let fear be the reason why you stay closed-minded. Uh, and for anybody that's watching this, man, just explore the world, live your life, man. Change your mindset.
Love that.
Yeah, love it. Love it. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for giving us a little bit of your time. Like she said, we got to find another reason to have you on. Yeah, you might be part of the panel one day interviewing somebody else. You know what I mean? Like, this is how we want to do it. We want to be as real as possible with the people, and we try to keep it 100. We don't try to sugarcoat anything. You know what I mean? So, we appreciate you taking the time to come on the show and, handle this mindset segment with us.
Hey, man, I appreciate the opportunity, man. I'm super fortunate to be here with you guys. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
You have
you.
a safe trip. Your safe, quick trip to Atlanta, sir. And all that good stuff. So we are going to close it out. Thank you guys so much for tuning into today's segment. You guys want to have it? You got any questions, any feedback? You want to ask us anything about the travel business or just about a travel destination? As you can see, Mr. Moore has been everywhere. He go to Dubai like if we driving down the street to New York from DC. I'm trying to tell y'all. I knew that was gonna be one of his favorites, but tap into us. And like I said, we don't do this. It's not competition. Our only competition is with ourselves being better at being a better us. So we do this together. We all have our own separate travel businesses, but tap into us, ask any questions. Marvin, CEO of M3 Travels, right? M3 Travels, I said that right? All right, Marvin of M3 Travels, tap into him or tap into us if you want to contact him for any questions, any concerns about the business or about a destination or anything. But outside of that, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for joining us today and being an amazing guest on the show today, Marvin. And as always, we're gonna I guess see you guys next Friday at 7:30 if there's no technical difficulties. Y'all have an amazing weekend. Thank y'all. Love y'all. Mwah.